Skype always. Oh,
I think you got it that time.
all right. Yeah, cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know. How's my audio coming through on your end?
It's coming good. And I just want to make sure the chat can hear it because it's already up.
Oh, okay.
So those guys, they'll tell me if they can hear it. I'm pretty sure they can. So how are you, man? We haven't really ever spoken directly before.
No, I don't think we've been on stream before. Let me just adjust that a little bit. There we
Well,
go.
no, we've been on stream before, but just like never you and I. It's always been like a group of people.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I don't think we've ever had a one-on-one stream before.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that hasn't happened. I think the last time we were on a stream together was I briefly popped in to that one with King of Pole and Sargon and you. Yeah.
Your chat seems to be saying echo. Am I echoing or you
No,
echoing?
it might be me that's echoing, and that's just because of my microphone. So let me see if I can. I'll turn that down. That should be a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if there's still an echo or not. Um, I'm still trying to figure out the settings on these things.
Oh, Jim is echoing. Oh, I get you. I get you. I see what you're saying, chat. It's a little bit of a little bit of an echo. Is that what you're saying? A little bit of that kind of echo. Is that what we're saying?
I don't think it's that. Okay, now it says that it's. I'm hearing now it's good, but now, all right. It might
Well,
just be. It might be my system. I'm not too sure. I will want to make sure that the. I'm still fucking around with OBS. I'm learning all this stuff as we go through it. That's one of the reasons.
here, let me say something, and then I'll listen to your stream and see if I can hear it on it. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely can hear an echo coming from my end.
I wonder what. Huh. It's probably on my end.
Good technical skills, man. I'm liking the start to this. We got some echoes
Well,
going
you
on.
know, you know, I usually am just do this by myself, like everything else in life. So I turn the volume. I turn the volume down, so that should definitely. Yeah, there we go. That should probably take care of it.
All right, yeah. Let me fuck around with some things. Maybe I can fix it on my end. So, crazy shit going on with Google and YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah, man. It's been nuts. And the weird thing too is that like so the apocalypse like kicked off at the end of March, right? And then all through April it went to shit. Like, you know how you made the comment like I said I had 100,000 views and I made like $15.
Yeah.
That happened to me in April too. I had 85,000 views or 80,000 views and I made like $17. And that's just how crazy it got. But then mid-May rolled around and it picked back up.
Yeah, it seems pretty hit and miss. I mean, when I was talking to Sticks, I think it was 2 days ago, I brought up the kind of the monetary amounts that have been going on. I mean, I've talked to other people about it too. Right, now, I don't do ads on my channel, but I know that a lot of people are really freaking out about it because it's not just that they're getting less than what they usually would get, but it's that they're not getting anything at all now. Like they're having whole swaths of videos just completely demonetized.
Yeah, I saw that today. I saw that with Repsion and a few other people, and I have not actually been impacted with that at all. It's probably because of the type of content that I cover. Like I'm very particular with how I title things and how I tag things in order to get around that. So when people come over and they say, "Oh, my video is demonetized," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like you have this one says rape in the title, this one says ISIS, this one says Syria." Like we've known for a long time that that is that is going to be a triggering word. So don't fucking do it.
Yeah, but what I was seeing was, I mean, you had liberal lunacy, you had Mr. Repzion, you had people like Razor Fist, you had a lot of people, and I don't think it's that their titles or their tags are what's doing it. I know Sargon put up a video like 3 hours ago before his Twitter got black holed,
Yeah.
talking about how people at Google, I don't know what article he was citing, I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been Breitbart, it could have been USA, I have no
It
fucking
was
clue.
Breitbart, I believe.
Who was talking about an anonymous Google dev that was saying that there was an anti-PC mentality there. I'm planning on doing a video of all this shit this weekend. I've been going over everything from, all the way back from the ADA initiative through the GNOME outreach program up into what's going on now. But it seems like there's a long fucking history of this shit going on, and I didn't realize it ran as deep as it does at Google,
Yeah.
with them being really almost, well, I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's not just malicious, it's petty,
It
about
really
wanting
feels
to
that
deal with
way.
people. Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, what was it? The James Damore was saying to Jordan Peterson that he went to these like off the books diversity meetings and was talking with them about that. And that's one of the things I'm going like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. We've seen this big push with Silicon Valley with, people like Ellen Pao, the former chairwoman of Reddit, like claiming that her being outed was sexism. And then, they need to change all this stuff and all like these diversity. I mean, Twitter hired a diversity VP that lasted like 6 months, you know, and the thing is they hire these people to come in out of pure desperation and just out of backlash, right, or a reaction, and these people can't get the job done because there's like basically what we saw in that document. It's nothing that can be fixed by trying to either throw money at a problem or trying to make it all go away.
No, I know, the money side is a really big component. I mean, I get it. People are freaked out about the monetization, and we're hearing a lot about that because it's affecting a lot of people.
Yeah,
Even with stuff like Patreon with Lauren Southern and just shit like that going on. My big concern, the thing that freaks me out more than just the money issue, is it feels like it's transitioning into a phase now where you're going to be. It's weird. It almost follows a pattern of threes, like this triple approach that they're taking. We're going to deplatform you, we're going to demonetize you, and then we're going to deperson you. So, it's either we're going to get rid of you off the platform entirely, we're going to take away all your funding, or if for some reason you are magically able to dodge around our really convoluted sense of a terms of service agreement, we're going to stick you into a category where nobody can watch or share or listen. And, people with larger channels, and this I think played out with Jordan Peterson. I mean, he has a very large channel. He had a lot of reach and he knows a lot of people. So it's hard for them to fuck with him because he can talk and get the word out.
yeah.
My fear is a lot of the shit I really like to watch are small channels. And, money aside, a lot of the people that put up really creative stuff or have really good argumentation or just put out wild crap, they're going to disappear and nobody's going to fucking know. I mean,
I
they're going
don't
to have,
disagree.
yeah, they're going to have no way of getting the word out. They're going to have no way of saying, listen, I'm getting screwed with. Can you do something about it? And the thing that spooked me the most was that Google post from 2 years ago about a completely unrelated incident, but the guy basically saying, tech companies talk to one another. If you fuck with us, there are social consequences.
Yeah.
You may piss somebody off at Google who talks to Twitter, who then talks to Facebook, and now you're gone everywhere. And what it makes me interested in is, God, I mean, could you trace that? Could you look back at prior incidents of people having like a YouTube channel shut down and then mysteriously afterwards their Twitter and their Facebook go down? Like, I wonder if you can almost pick the pattern of like this interconnected relationships between these different corporations and the people that are doing things.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it would require a lot of investigation. You need to get, I mean, really, you need to weaponize poll to get into this kind of stuff in order to really kind of dig it out. I mean, as much as I disagree with a lot of what poll posts, I never claim that they're not good at finding information. And they're some of the best on the web, especially when they're able to just kind of sit down and get into it. Finding these people and exposing them for what they're attempting to do is not, I don't think, as hard as it might be, because they're so blatant about it these days, and they have been for years. They never shy away from trying to beat their chest and act as some kind of fucked up moral authority, and so we can see them. But even though we can see them and we can expose them, and expose after expose could come on out, it never really has as much of an impact as it should. And that's just because people, I think, in Silicon Valley are too damn afraid to actually stand up for fighting back against these kind of ideals.
Well, I think this is kind of, I don't know how to say it. I mean, it feels like it's building up momentum to something larger. It feels like right now there are distinct groups on the internet that have always liked to fight with one another and fuck around with one another.
Yeah.
I've noticed the skeptics and the alt-right, you guys have been kind of back and forth with one another against each other. I know that, Murdoch had his channel and he had like an encounter with Lefty Pole. And it just seems like there's so much, I don't know how to say it, friendly fire going on right now, that people aren't paying attention to the Machiavellian entity in the background that basically thinks you're all shit and wants all of you gone. And
yeah,
it's just it's surreal how they're so, it reminds me of the journalist, man, from back, from the Zoe Quinn thing. They're really arrogant about it, which really gets
yeah.
under my skin.
Oh, I remember all that too. Every time, and the thing is, they're still arrogant. We're coming up on 3 years, and they're still as arrogant, and they're still in the industry. A few of them have changed. A few people have I think, changed their tune a little bit publicly, but probably not privately. But your earlier point though about how there's a lot of, you could say friendly fire or just maybe infighting to an extent, I kind of chalk that up to the fact that the people that have gone specifically after like SJW content and that kind of content, that stuff has dried up insane. It's just dried up. Those people aren't posting on YouTube anymore. They're maybe not posting as much on Twitter, or they're hiding in their own little echo chambers to where this kind of stuff never gets to them because of block bots or block lists or so on and so forth. And as a result, the anti-SJW YouTubers, and I've said this to many of them in person at VidCon, I'm like, the content is drying up, and that's why the infighting has begun. Simply because they need to maintain their channels, for one. They need to keep pumping out daily content. I pump out a lot of content, I fully admit that, but I try to find different things to talk about. Whether some do well or don't, that's up to the audience to watch. But you look at people that spend their entire focus on going after like the left in some of this regard, and it's just there's nothing there. It's at the bottom of the well, and so they start turning their attentions almost cannibalistically on each other over things that normally wouldn't enrage them, but it does now. But then when you look at, let's say, like the skeptics versus the alt-right, the skeptics, they've been labeled the alt-right, and they don't want to be labeled the alt-right any longer. Shit, someone's calling Stefan Molyneux alt-right today. Like, Stefan is not alt-right, but that's again just the terminology that's being thrown at anyone who just disagrees with that narrative. And so then you've got the actual alt-right who are enjoying this newfound fame, and the skeptics are getting kind of pissed because now they're being lumped in with them, and it just becomes this, really a big circle jerk.
Well, yeah, I mean, these two groups have had a huge pissing match going back and forth for a while now. And I mean, I know there's a lot of history. I know there's some shit that's been going down for the last couple of weeks that I've watched play out. But the Google thing just, it freaks me out a little bit. Because, I do have concerns. Listen, a lot of the information that's come out has talked about how Google employees will network with other social media sites, right? I mean, that seems to be kind of confirmed. And a lot of these ex-Google employees hold some pretty radical political beliefs, and that's pinned on their social media platforms, supporting groups like Antifa and Black Bloc and shit like that. Even one of the anonymous sources that was quoted saying that it wasn't just anti-SJW stuff; it was anti-communist stuff that was getting flagged and fucked with. Listen, man, I mean, when you're signing up for AdSense, when you're signing up for Super Chat, you're putting in your fucking details. You're putting in your financial information. You're putting in addresses, social security numbers. I mean, is it safe? Is it secure?
I would say more than likely it is. Unless somebody like deep in that particular side of Google is able to get in there and get that information, I would argue that it's relatively safe. But if by some chance there's a breach, then it's done. Then it's gone. But what we're seeing now is probably like, what they do is they don't come after you via AdSense in terms of giving out your personal information. That they try to do is they try to flag you for inappropriate content while you use AdSense, and therefore get that revoked, which then forces you to either have to go to an MCN, which is a gigantic waste of time on YouTube, completely just not worth it for anyone watching at home. Or you have to go to PayPal in order to try to get some kind of fan funding. Well, PayPal it's so easy to get them to take away your PayPal. They're doing that right now with certain groups that are right-leaning, that have a PayPal for donations, that aren't even really doing anything horrible, are having those PayPal, those accounts closed under, reasons for harassment or whatever shit they want to say. And then you've got the Patreon route, and the Patreon route kind of drew its line in the sand when it came to Lauren Southern. And I listened to you discuss it with Styx Hexenhammer, and I kind of see where Patreon was coming from. But then, of course, his attempt to kind of further justify it, I think, also kind of screwed it up.
Well, I think Masterson brought up a funny point, man. I wasn't even really paying attention. I listened to what Jack Conte had to say. I watched the video, right? Mm-hmm. But what was the little thing he was talking about? Measurable, observable behavior?
Yeah.
And Masterson was laughing because he's like, basically, they're literally calling it a fucking mob when they come to take your shit away. Like, I know. Jack Conte has created a literal mob to come and take your fucking money away. which I thought was pretty clever. I hadn't really picked up on that when I was listening to Conte
I
talk.
caught I
It
caught
felt
the
like
I caught the acronym, but I didn't really like put that together. It's very similar to Zoe Quinn's Crash Override Network, or Con.
right, right. It's one of those weird things. So maybe Patreon takes the place, but I don't know. It's just I think there's some serious shit going on with Google. I think this employee was kind of the tip of the iceberg with it, and they're so monolithic. They're so ingrained into so much different things, and some of their policies don't make sense. They'll say to you, we won't allow advertising on certain content, right? Like hate speech and stuff like
Yeah,
that. We're not going to let you do that. But they'll let you do a stream where you scream nigger at the top of your head, and people can give you super chat money.
yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that seems like a really bizarre double standard within their own policies of how that works. So I don't know what it is. I mean, is it because people, when they give super chat money, a cut of that goes to Google, so they're okay with
Yeah.
the hate speech when they get the money directly?
30% of
So
super chat is what goes to Google. 30%.
so this isn't like some moral stand they're taking. They're not saying
No.
we don't like your content because it's terrible and it's wrong. It's just we're not getting enough of a cut of it to allow it onto our platform.
Well, I think what it boils down to is it bypasses the advertisers completely. What a lot of people, what I've seen come out of the apocalypse is a lot of hyperbole, a lot of rhetoric surrounding it. I don't disagree that there is a definite implicit bias within Google as a whole that does trickle down to YouTube. I saw Susan Wojcicki say that when she read that memo, it pained her inside. I'm sorry, science and facts bother you. But when you take a look at what they've done, like let's say this whole situation now with the kind of sectioning off content, that they released last week, it wasn't anything really different. At the beginning stages of the apocalypse, one of Google's VPs gave a talk somewhere. I did a video on this, and he said that this content, this hateful supremacist content, that's extremist stuff that everyone's bitching about, is 1/1000th of the amount of content uploaded to YouTube, and probably even less than that, or more than that, in terms of just it's so minuscule that they know that it's an issue. They know that it's they know that it exists, but it also is so small that it doesn't even really register in the grander scale of things. It's just that the Wall Street Journal was able to shine a light on this fucking video, that Chief Keef video. If you look at the numbers, you know how much money that video made, Jim? $20.44. That's it.
Yeah, right. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so weird. But the thing is, as well, you don't run ads in your videos. I run ads in my videos, and a lot of other people do too. And I guarantee you, anyone who does this as a full-time job knows for a goddamn fact, if you put the word nigger in the title of a video, it's not going to run ads, whether it's through an MCN or not. It's just, it's not going to do it.
Is that a guaranteed? But if you do a super chat with that in the title, they're fine taking that 30%.
Yeah, that's a different thing. But putting it in there and running it for 6 months, it's like it wouldn't have happened. The fact that the guy said that he had a McDonald's ad, a Toyota ad, and a Starbucks ad running every time he refreshed it is either a lie or one of those absolute flukes of a situation. And I don't know. I don't know. It's entirely possible that, YouTube made this whole thing happen. They directed that guy to that video. Someone, they set the thing up in order to direct ads of that nature there in order to, prompt this to happen. I mean, that's a huge tinfoil hat conspiracy theory that I have no proof for, but there's no other explanation that truly backs up what the Wall Street Journal published. Especially coming after their entire PewDiePie situation, where that they totally just took what he said out of context in order to defame him.
Right. I mean, it feels like this has been done in steps, and it feels like it's not done yet. It's little by little. We're gonna redo the ad thing. We're gonna call that the adpocalypse, and you guys are gonna have to bear with it. Now we've got a little bit more hate speech. Now we've got a trusted flagger program. Now we've got limbo state for your information to go into. I mean, shit, it's going to reach the point where I bet they're going to disable embedding on other sites when you put in that limbo state. So even if you thought you could run your own site, like imagine Molyneux, right? He's got his own free domain radio.
Yeah.
So let's say they wanted to go after Molyneux. Well, okay, we'll put his videos in limbo. Well, Molyneux might think, whatever, I'll just embed them on my website. It doesn't affect me. But now they can't be embedded. So he has to find a completely new service to use to host his videos. Or even dual uploading. I know VidMe lets you do this weird dual upload thing where it will take the YouTube video and immediately link it and embed it onto your VidMe account, I'm sure it's going to get cut off there. Like, I think this is getting worse and worse. And I've noticed a lot of people have kind of talked over the last half a year, and they've taken almost kind of a rose-tinted approach when looking at Google's intentions for this. I don't think Google's on the side of the basic user. I don't think they give a shit about any of us. I think some people steering the ship are making some really bad decisions, and I think there's a corporate mentality that runs maybe pretty deep. And I think that this particular individual probably helped to highlight that, with the incident that happened with the memo. Or as they
Probably.
call it, the manifesto, like he's some kind of fucking supervillain living in
I
a
know.
volcano off some
I know.
island somewhere.
I love how they handled that. I just love that how they did it. I explained the diversity memo to my girlfriend's mother yesterday, who is like, doesn't go on social media, doesn't watch YouTube, doesn't, she voted Trump, but she watches Fox News. She doesn't give a shit about much else. And I explained it to her, and she was like, "But wait, there are biological differences between men and women. This has been known forever. What are these people trying to say?" And it's just cracks me up that someone who's not involved in any of the cultural identity politics nonsense will look at that and just go, "Yeah, no, I think everyone's pretty much on board with this." Like, what the fuck?
Well, like what I look at the situation and I think to myself, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, not only can Google basically take you off their video sharing platform, they probably talk to other social media and can get your ass kicked off there, because I'm sure Jack and Dorsey and Zuckerberg probably hate our asses too. But then they fuck with search results. So like, even if you went out and built your own website and it did really well, that you fucking disappear. I know people bring up, if you look up like if you Google 8chan, sometimes it won't fucking show up. You get like PL instead of .net. So I don't know. It feels like a really shit situation we're in right now. And I know that this has been going on for years. Hell, you look at ADA initiative, right? We want more diversity and technology. They did a presentation called the Pretender Syndrome, and it was literally women in tech complaining because they felt like frauds. And they're like, how can we get over the fact that we feel like we're frauds and fake our way through doing our job on a daily basis?
Oh my god.
And this is a seminar video they put out, and they did diversity classes on it. Or you've got shit like the Gnome Outreach Program, right? So you've got this group, they're working on this project, and what do they spend the money on under the leadership of this new diversity mandate outreach program for women programmers, and it bankrupts the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot, and these people seem to shuffle from one fucking place to the next, and it's just I don't know what the fuck is going on. It just feels like.
Well, it's a lot of unchecked whining, really. It's kind of almost death by a thousand cuts is the best way I can describe it. So you figure this started off probably in the 90s, when I was, leaving school. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 35. When I was leaving high school, you started hearing about, oh, every kid gets a trophy, every kid gets a gold star, all of this type of, oh, everyone gets rewarded for just trying, and no one gets rewarded for succeeding, because we don't want people to feel bad. And then that permeates itself over the course of the past 17, 18 years, and now we got these kids that were young then that are adults now that really do feel like they are entitled to this stuff. And if they're not good enough at something, then it's meant for the rest of the system to change to benefit them versus them getting good. You almost want people to sit there and approach life like a goddamn Dark Souls game. Do you suck at it? Well, get good, fucker. The game's not going to change for you.
I'm looking at your chat because you have super chat enabled. So like, somebody
Yeah.
gave you a 10, right, to say
Yeah.
something. So 30% of that's going to Google, $3.
Yeah.
Is there nobody that can come up with? I mean, I know Patreon's competing with Patreon. Is there nobody that can make a plugin where they can give you super chat money that doesn't go through fucking Google, and maybe take
I
10%
think there's
to run that instead?
Streamlabs. There's I don't know if that works on YouTube though. The super chat idea is just good because it's just right there. But yeah, it's like, I tell people, I'm like, look, I really appreciate super chat, but it's like, if you really want to support, and not have it go to the company, like Patreon would be good, or PayPal would be more direct. Yeah, PayPal takes a percentage, but it's like 2%, not 30%. The super chat nonsense when it comes to what they take is just insane, because they don't really like explain why they're taking that much. Like, it's, oh, we need 30% to process the payment. Like, really? I go to Arco, it's 35 cents to use my fucking debit card to process the payment. Why do you need 30%?
I see one of your. This guy's asked this question like 5 times, and he now paid you to ask it. Do you mind if I answer him?
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I've been reading the chat, but off and on. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for posterity's asking, mind asking Metokur if he sees this similar to the Chinese Cultural Revolution or a non-violent Khmer Rouge year or zero kind of thing. If you're talking about how it seems like they're trying to purge a certain kind of culture and cleanse it from the internet, yeah, I kind of see it in a similar way. Um,
See, I'm unfamiliar with the Khmer Rouge year zero thing. That I'm actually unfamiliar with.
I'm just going off the Chinese Cultural Revolution and what the
Okay.
basics, the small pieces of that I know. You're asking me the wrong questions, but I think I get the gist of what he's asking.
Okay.
Fuck your Monopoly money, you cocksucker. That's
Yeah, this unknown archive. He also said here, $10 super chat, Lycos.com is the future.
well, there you go.
I don't know, dude. GeoCities was a thing. Don't forget fucking GeoCities.
But yeah, to answer your question, it does feel like there's a bit of a purge. I've said this previously in streams that I did with other people. I think this is a really hard reaction to what happened with Trump winning, and I think they don't like the culture they saw that was supportive of that and that helped to kind of facilitate his win. And I think they all have this kind of not like I almost I don't know what kind of a term social media. It's like white guilt, but for social media magnates. Right? They all feel guilty because they feel like it's on their watch they let it happen.
Yeah.
So now they need to clean their hands of it, and the way they do that is getting you shadow banned, deleting your Twitter account, getting you zucked, or black holing your YouTube channel. I mean, they want this shit to disappear, and I really do feel like it's got a political bias to it, and I really do feel like it's in preparation for elections that are upcoming, because they really fucked up. They thought it was a joke. They thought it was a joke. I mean, they thought all these assholes with their stupid frog cartoons are going to make themselves look like sexist, racist. Nobody will ever listen to them. And now we've got Donald Trump as president, and they're like, fucking shit, we really fucked the pooch on this one.
They did. No, they really did. I mean, I did not vote Trump, but I still absolutely love how the thing played out in that regard. It was complete underestimation of how meme culture works. But at the same time, while I do agree with you that a lot of this probably does feel like a response to Trump winning, it also is a response to people like Paul Joseph Watson hitting 1 million subscribers. The type of conservative commentary on YouTube, in terms of like maybe rational conservative commentary, like is not as big as you would like it to be. But you get stuff like Paul Joseph Watson and InfoWars that are out there preaching Pizzagate as being real, and all of the other bullshit they spew constantly, which is just proven, false all the time, is able to find themselves in this position of prominence. And then those kind of voices have now been raising up. And that's a direct result of Trump winning, which is, and I've battled these people off and on all year. I've had, like Baked Alaska. I don't know if he's a big Trump supporter on Twitter. He goes out there and makes a comment when the Netflix trailer, 30-second Netflix trailer for Dear White People dropped. And he's like, Netflix, why do you support white genocide? And I called him out on it because I'm like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, you might be being a shitposter. You're being a fucking idiot. Like, have some, like, if you're going to debate this issue, debate the issue. Don't just, but then again, it's memes. It's memes, and I got baited by the meme. I'll admit that. But I ended up losing like 600 subscribers in a day for just calling out Baked Alaska on that shit. Like, that's how it got post-election. It got really, really bad. If I criticized Trump, I would drop 400 or 500 subscribers in a day.
Well, you got to know your base. I don't know who's subscribed to you to watches your content. I'm not sure what your demographics are. So I'm sure you're
I wasn't expecting that.
If you're saying stuff that they don't like.
I wasn't expecting that at all. Like, and the thing is too, I don't care. I'm not going to change what I'm saying. People joined up because I was criticizing Hillary, which is what I heard a lot about. And all right, cool. I didn't want Hillary to win. I didn't want Trump to win. This is where we are. But it's like, I'm not going to stop with my opinion. And again, it's been a bit of a tumultuous year as a result of that. But things have evened themselves out. But I've noticed this rise in conservative voices. I was at a family barbecue the other day, and my cousin was asking me, he's like, "Hey, do you watch Stick Hexenhammer 666?" And I'm like, I know who he is. I've watched a few of his videos. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of what he says, but I know who he is, and I have nothing against the guy. So it's like, yeah, people, there are people that are talking about these conservative voices, and there do need to be conservative voices as well as liberal voices on this platform. It's just unfortunate.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think the conservatives will be the first group that you get targeted, and this is what concerns me. Is I don't think it's just going to be conservatives. I think a lot of people are going to get fucked, and that's
Yeah.
going to really hit people that are funny. Like if you notice a lot of like comedy channels and shit that make a lot of really edgy jokes, they're done.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be that conservative component, but I think that the crackdown we're seeing is directly related, like I said, directly related to kind of that the election and the momentum that was building up and the culture they saw kind of growing online. And I think they're trying to go as balls to the wall, crazy and extreme on the we'll take care of it ourselves mentality. I mean, the fucking ADL is helping with their Trusted Flaker program, and they think
I wonder how much of that though is just like a like one of those hand waving things. Like
I
how
don't
much
know.
influence does the ADL actually have?
I've had some people send me information related to what the back end of this looks like, and their system is interesting to say the least on how they're approaching what videos need to go and what don't.
Okay.
Um, but ADL could be, you're right, PR, but I do think these kind of groups have a larger voice than maybe people realize. And you know, the ADL's afraid of a fucking frog. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I wonder how much of that, again, see, every time I see something like that, I wonder how much of that is just opportunistic bullshit. You know, the ADL clearly wants to advance their agenda. Hillary comes out, talks about the frog. Oh, just that was that whole, that was so cringy, you know. And then all of a sudden there's that article on her website about how the frog is a symbol of the Nazi or oppression, whatever, and then the ADL jumps on that and makes this huge stink about it. I'm wondering how much of that was really meant to push the agenda, because since then they haven't, as far as I've seen, and maybe they have it, I haven't seen it yet, they haven't really done much in terms of showcasing that. Like, you know, people make fun of Pepe. The only person right now I see still bringing up Pepe on a semi-regular basis is Samantha Bee. And why I'm watching her content, I don't know, but I am. You know,
you've got some shit taste, mate. I don't know what the fuck
you
you're
know what,
watching
what?
for.
It's like nothing else is on, and I'm all like, well, I'll see how much I hate Samantha Bee today. It's a hate watch. I will fully admit, I watch her out of hate watch.
I'd rather watch fucking paint dry, but I mean, to each their own, I suppose.
You know, it's just like I keep thinking to myself, like, remember when she was good on the Daily Show? What happened? Oh, right, she wore a pantsuit now. But no, it's just, yeah, it's like, but she brings it up frequently. She brings it up as a way to attack the alt-right. She uses it as a dismissive tactic in order to further push her agenda. And I get that as being a late night host is what they're all trying to do, but it comes across to me, and the same thing with the ADL using it, it's just all intellectually dishonest. Any 2 seconds of research will show you precisely what's going on. And what pisses, and I agree with you that they're trying to silence a lot of these type of voices, because I feel like rationality and you know, reasonability have gone out the fucking window, especially if you swear. If you swear, they try to discredit you as much as they possibly can. Like,
Well, let me get you put on a blacklist. Fuck, fuckity, fuck.
Tough. Fucking Christ,
let me
Jim.
sink this fucking ship. Yeah.
We've already both dropped the N word. You might as well just say kike, faggot, Jew, nigger. Jesus.
Oh, I hope somebody got that sound clip.
God damn it.
There you go.
God
See,
damn
you're loosening up a little bit. See? Yeah, there you go.
That's gonna, you know what? Is that gonna end up on one of your videos, just like the fucking ad block thing?
Can you do an oy vey voice for me and tell me you're one of the chosen people? Can you do that?
Oy vey.
Yeah, say oy vey. Turn off that pesky ad block. They'll love you for it.
All right, hold on. This is fuck it. Oy vey, turn off that pesky ad block.
There you go. You got to work on the Jew voice a little bit, Matt. It's a little.
I'm Canadian. Like, what the fuck? I'm like.
I know it's you're it's not very convincing, but I give you an A for effort on it at least. I give you an A for effort.
No, you know what's funny is like when I met Boogie2988 at VidCon, and he was like, "Man, you do not sound anything like your videos." Because it was more or less like the whole over presentation on the opening.
Can I ask you something about Boogie? And you can refuse to answer this if you want to stay on good terms with him. But I've heard this fucking rumor so much, and it drives me nuts. And I don't know if it's true or not. Does he really? This sounds so stupid, but does he really wear diapers?
I don't know. I've never heard that rumor.
There is a fucking story that he was at some convention, and he shit himself. And like shit's going down his fucking legs, and he's got like a poopy diaper, and I don't know if that's fucking real or not. But like internet rumors are so convincing sometimes, and you hear them so many times. So I don't know. Can you
You
confirm
know,
or deny this for me?
I can't confirm nor deny. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Next time I see him at VidCon, I'll try to pat his ass, and I'll check. I'll just
That's
be like,
fantastic. Pants him. Just be like, hey, it's just goofing. It's just a prank, bro. Just pants his
just
ass.
a
Let's see.
prank, bro.
I just want to see if some Huggies are under there. You know what I mean? Like, I just want some fucking confirmation on this shit.
I don't know. I don't. I'm pretty sure he's mobile. He's mobile. I'm pretty sure he's able to use the restroom without diapers. I'm pretty sure about that. But you know how it is, dude. There's all the rumors that pop up around anybody who does shit. There's rumors about you that circulate constantly.
Oh
You
my
know.
God, yeah. I mean, I am the leader of a Brondo drinking, or no, Brondo swilling gang of internet murderers and rapists, and I'm partially responsible for Sandy Hook, and I get gays thrown off of rooftops. I've got quite the fucking resume if you really look into it. It's pretty impressive all the shit that I've apparently done.
Well, every time you change names, your legend just grows. That's
I
what
know,
happens.
I'm on like number 38 at this point. I just
I'm
keep
honestly surprised you haven't changed over. You've crossed over the 100,000 subscriber mark.
Yeah, I mean, I've got alternate accounts I use just to fuck about and do the old style YouTube stuff that I like to do, which is just fucking with people. But those are so out in the wild, people don't know about them. So that's kind of nice to have, I guess, to fall back on. I put out videos on the main channel, but then I'm putting like one or two videos out a week on these other ones, and people have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I didn't know you had alternate channels.
Very
I would.
much.
I'm pretty sure if people knew about it though, it would be all over. They'd all get just blown up. Because I mean, like there are people that I like, people that I've met just randomly. We talk YouTube and they're like, "Hey, do you ever watch like Mr. Metokur?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been watching him for years." Like, "Oh, I love his content." Like, and that's the thing. Like when you joined up Patreon, I have to ask you though. I have to ask
Yeah,
when
go ahead.
you did the Patreon thing, were you
Mhm.
expecting me to give you shit?
I wasn't expecting. Well, I was expecting shit from my audience because again, my stance on monetization has always been what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still think it's what it is. I still kind of hold the opinion. Like I have an old school mentality when it comes to the internet. I mean, I still look at YouTube as just fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I find it so fucking funny with the skeptics self-labeling themselves the skeptics. Like, man, you're
I
making internet videos talking about blue-haired chicks who want to turn their fucking menstrual blood into brownies. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, that's the shit you're focusing on. Let's not get too overly intellectual about this
Well,
shit.
I mean, like, and that's where like I don't personally like consider myself part of that group. Like that was the thing with VidCon is I went there. The term I was using was like I was kind of like a man without a country, so to speak, because I cover so much, so many random topics, and I have my own way of doing things. I'm not going to be like lining up to be with the exact same group as everybody. But yeah, I agree with you. It's like I think now it's more of like kind of it started. I think it's been used as a term that is now being more for just like the lulz than anything else.
Uh,
Especially because Armored Skeptic actually made a hat that says Skeptic TM on it.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that shit. The internet works in cycles, right? The thing that's funny today gets made fun of tomorrow, and that skeptic stuff and the Kakistani stuff, that's going to be the Guy Fawkes mask of the next 2 years.
Oh Jesus, yeah, the Kekasani thing. Like I laugh at it, but it's like I don't take any bit of it seriously. But then at VidCon, some guy comes up to me and he's all like, "Hey, MundaneMatt, can you sign my Kekastani flag?"
You should have put on a Guy Fawkes mask and asked him if he wanted to go bake a cake for Scientology. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. What are you talking about?
Oh man, the good old Project Chinology. I miss those days. To be honest with you, I miss those days.
But see,
Those
that's
those were
the
fun.
yeah, but that's the mindset I'm coming at the internet with. I mean,
Yeah,
that's why monetization has always been so weird for me. I mean, like I always saw YouTube as a way of putting up funny content or just doing dumb, goofy shit.
yeah. No, I hear you.
And now it's morphed into something that's different, and that's what's so fucking bizarre about it, right? I mean, for like 7 years, it was just a place to put videos, and then for like 2 years, people were like, "I can make a living off of this," and now here comes Google saying, "No, you can't. We're
Yeah.
going to we're going to completely fuck over the entire program we just built up, so the site is filled with nothing but Elsa and Spider-Man pissing in a bathtub." So I don't
Oh,
know
I
what the
know,
fuck.
I know. You know what the shittiest thing with that though is I was in the process of closing escrow on my house, and my girlfriend had said that she was pregnant, and then this shit happened.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
you've got incredibly bad luck. I mean, that's what I meant when I was talking to Sticks, right?
yeah,
I saw what like milk toast, and you know, it's insulting, but
I,
your content is really safe. Let's be honest, Matt. You
no,
could play
it
any
is,
of
but it's
your
like that on purpose.
Yeah, but you could play any of your videos in a workplace environment, and nobody's going to do a double take and be like, "That I need to talk to HR." So the fact that your numbers and your ad revenue are down should be scaring the shit out of people that actually do stuff where you couldn't
Well,
play it at work.
there were other aspects to that as well. For one, like the thing is, okay, so I was with Broadband TV, right? I just left there today, so now I'm back on AdSense, and I'm waiting to see what happens next. I was with Broadband for the past couple years, and I had this insane deal with them. Like my contract is over. I'll fucking talk about it. I don't give a shit. I had 100% revenue share. I paid them nothing, and I was on a higher CPM. So I was making more per
Now,
thousand views.
whose dick did you have to suck to get
No,
that
no,
money?
I didn't have to like any dick. The dude who came to me to recruit me. All right, he kept like upping his promises. I'm not even kidding you. He hits me up and he goes like he tracks me down via Skype and everything. It's before I showed my face, and so he did his homework to find me. So I was gonna hear him out, and then he goes like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, I want 100,000 subscribers. I want that fucking plaque. And he goes like, all right, well, we can get you 100,000 by the end of the year. We'll get you there. And I was at 55,000 at the time. And I'm all like, yeah, but I don't really want to pay you guys like 30%. That's not, fuck that. And he comes back the next day and he goes, okay, I talked with my team. We can get you to 200,000 subscribers by the end of the year. This was, by the way, like the end of April 2015. And I'm like, you just upped it 100,000 from the 45 you promised me yesterday.
So
Okay.
what was the draw? Why did they want you so bad?
I think what it was, this dude was new. I think this guy was new and he was trying to sign people. I think he was just trying to sign people and get them done. But the thing is, he came back to me the next day and he said, okay, no shit, we can get you 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year. He upped it another 100K. And I'm going, okay, what?
Are you sure the name of this group wasn't Latveria Media? This sounds very DSP like in the recounting of how this is going down.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't at all. I don't get it at all. And so I'm like, yeah. Oh my, okay. What's the catch? What's the catch? He goes like, well, it would be, we'll put you on a preferred program, and it will be 10%, to us. And I'm all like, I don't know. I'm still playing hard to get. I'm like, there's no way this guy can get me what he's promising me. Period. None. Unless they bought subscribers or they pimped me as hard as they push someone like PewDiePie. Never gonna happen. And then he goes, well, how about this? We'll put you on a trial program, 6 months, 100% revenue share to you, higher CPM, and that's that. And I'm all like, oh yeah, all right, cool. We'll try for 6 months. I'll cancel. I'll cancel. So I set the whole thing up. I get a call from his boss like the next day who wants to do like a follow-up, because it's a total sales bullshit. And I basically tell him what the dude promised me. Then I send him screenshots because this guy didn't tell me this over voice chat and Skype. He wrote it down in the chat. So in writing, a broadband employee was promising me 245,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I got him.
That's insane. Yeah, I mean, I've had people. I've tried to make it very clear I'm not going to do ads on my thing, but I still get offers. Like I had one that came through, and they're like, we've got studio locations in California you can use, and we've got editors and audio, and we'll hook you up with all this. And I sent them back a very nice, honest reply, and I was like, you understand the content I make, right? Who do you think is going to advertise on a video about adults dressing up as foxes and shitting themselves? Like, do you imagine the Disney Corporation is going to want to label their fucking products on that?
Exactly.
And then I get these messages all the time too from like companies like apps and that kind of shit, and they're like, please, like we'll pay you to do this. I had one guy offer $6,000 for like some app program and some kind of like this shit. And so I put out a warning video. I put this up on VidMe, but I made it really clear. Like if you from now on send me promotional shit to make me advertise your product, I will advertise your product. I won't take the money. But I'm going to make it the most racist, sexist shit, and I will associate your name brand with it. And I will blast that out to fucking everyone I can. Because I'm so tired of the fucking... It's constant shit. They constantly needle you with that shit. But
no, they do. I get them all the time. I got one the other day, and it was like, so there's a company called FameBit that I've worked through before. The last sponsored video I did, I worked through them. Because I don't mind doing it. Like this is a business. I pay taxes. This is a business. I understand we'll have differences on the monetization part of it. Oh, but really quick though, to quickly finish my point with that, when you posted the Patreon, I got a lot of messages from people going like, "Oh, are you gonna give Jim a hard time about it?" And I don't know if you remember what I said in response to that, because I tweeted at you at the time. I said
what you should have done is gone to the video and said, "Turn that pesky thing off." Now
I
that's what
should have, but
that's
I
what
should
would
have, but I didn't. And legitimately, because I got you here, I genuinely respect your content. I know you give me shit. It's funny. I laugh at it, but I genuinely respect your content, and I'd love to see you do this as a career if you wanted to. No pressure, nothing like that. It's one of the reasons why I wanted you to go to VidCon. I genuinely respect you as a creator.
Oh, holy shit. I will never go to VidCon. I mean, like, I get it. Some people want to turn this into a career. All right. Like, I don't have, there are content creators I see as very talented. Like, I think we would agree on a few of them. Like, maybe Red Letter Media, right? I mean, do you think?
I watched their Ghostbusters thing last night, and I laughed my ass off, but, like, their general content, I don't care for.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is, like, production value, the script writing. I mean, they put effort into it.
Yeah.
And so I can see that as a business that they will probably be very successful going forward with. But in my opinion, at least when it comes to YouTube and stuff, like this is, at least for me, as a stopgap measure until I get my shit sorted and I can go back to what I consider the real world. Like there is such a danger with people getting too hopeful with making money off of doing internet things. And
Sure.
it really takes a very special kind of person to be able to do it for a long time. Like I make fun of Molyneux a lot, but he's made it work for himself.
Yeah, I know, he has.
But take somebody like DSP, I mean, or Spoonie One. These people that they were on top of the world. They were some of the, they were doing very good numbers. We all like to make fun of DSP, but for a while he was getting a lot of fucking views and making a lot of fucking money. And so then they go out, they buy a car, they buy a house. They feel good. They think it's going to be sustainable for a long time, and then, a year or two from now, they disappear. Like the channels that are coming up right now, like the new shit that's coming out this minute today, will be at what our numbers are within a fourth of the time that it took us to get to where we are.
Yeah,
like
probably.
The cycle just gets so quick, and it gets quicker and quicker and quicker until you're irrelevant. And so there's such a risk with trying to like hang your hat on.
Well, it's all about diversification. That's what it boils down to. It's not just like, the thing is, I don't want like as much as I appreciate Patreon and I appreciate everyone who helps out, I don't want to rely on that. Like the reason why I like ads is because I feel like it's just like, yes, it's a small time commitment and so on and so forth, but it's like, that's it. It's not asking someone to choose between like giving me $1 or buying a packet of ramen. Like that's the way I personally view it. And when the adpocalypse happened, the joke I made was, this is going to turn into a real Sophie's Choice if it's not rectified within a few months, because you're going to have people out there that want to genuinely support those that they like. And they're going to find themselves either having to pick one to focus on or spread it really thin. And they're going to have to make those choices. And that's going to be really hard for them.
Oh, you haven't even gotten, the Thunderdome hasn't happened yet, but that is coming.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming.
Once that advertising revenue really does sink for all you guys, it's going to be a fucking free for all for who can get the Patreon box.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be like, oh, I know. Oh, trust me, I know. It's I can already see it happening. I'm already, prepping for certain, for in my mind at least, seeing certain people gonna start going that way. And it's sad. It's unfortunate because there is a market. There is such a market for where things are right now. There's eyeballs on the screen. I mean, look, my content might be banal and milquetoast and whatever, and I get that. It's mundane. It's in the name, right? But it's like I still pull in 2 to 2.3 million views a month. So there are people that genuinely like watching my content. There are those that don't, but it's there. There's eyeballs that are there. Same with you. Same with Sargon, Styx, Hexenhammer, everybody that's able to get to a certain point. So it's like, there should be advertisers that are willing to step in and fill that gap. What I think is happening right now is, because things are still a bit tumultuous with the system, is they're holding Google a bit hostage. They're using this moment where they can try to renegotiate deals. And that's one of the reasons why YouTube is bending over backwards to be like, no, we're totally going to work on this. We're totally going to make it right. Even though what they're saying is almost nothing, and unless, okay, if we start seeing like the ADL start like targeting videos specifically on YouTube or on Twitter and tweeting them at YouTube or some shit like that, then yeah, they have way more power than they should. But in the meantime, it says to me like this is just a PR stunt in order to appease the advertisers, considering that this whole thing started as a result with the British government pulling their ads from Google because of the extremist content was running their ads on it, and then that just trickled through PewDiePie and then here to America. And so it's I
Right, but
feel like
I would warn against and I've heard this point brought up by a few people that it's Google kind of being held hostage, and Google's really on our side, but these evil
oh no, they're not
advertisers
on
are
our
against.
side. They're not on
I,
our side.
you've got to
Period.
understand,
But
Google is a massive corporation, and
yeah,
it's bigger and richer than a lot of the people that do advertisements with it. And it's not just YouTube that Google serves. I mean, they serve ads fucking everywhere. So they have a really strong bargaining position because they can say, listen, okay, Pepsi, you don't like us? Fuck it. None of your products are getting advertised on any goddamn website that we serve. It's always going to be Coca-Cola. How do you like that? I mean, they can play hardball too, and they can get the numbers that they want in response. I just I don't think again. I have a feeling like some people think that like Google secretly is rooting for us or some shit, and they're
no,
not. They're
no.
fucking not. And I don't think they're as weak at the bargaining table when it comes to the ads as they like to play on. I think it just helps to serve their narrative of kind of cleaning house a little bit. Like, oh well, yeah, we're held hostage by this. Guess you're not going to make much money. Maybe you're not going to make content anymore. Maybe you should go fuck off to Vimeo.
Maybe. No, maybe. I mean, and it's entirely possible. I look at it like this. YouTube, Google, I mean, okay, like YouTube only pulls in like 6% of Google's entire earnings. And so when the adpocalypse happened, these companies, they not only pulled out of YouTube, they pulled out of Google as a whole, which is why like the number I heard, and I don't have any, I can't think of the source to back this up, but I heard it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $27 billion is what it cost Google. And then they shut down a lot of the YouTube ads, but it also impacted other, I think it was like non-search engine or non-searches, whatever the hell it's called. It's basically like, it's stuff on websites might still be there, but trying to search for certain stuff may not be, or may be restricted. I think I might be wrong on that one, but basically it impacted them, it's, company wide. And I think they're trying to sort it all out.
Well,
But
I
no,
like
they're
I
not on
like
our side.
yeah, I like the narrative that they're like, I mean, Google, Google likes to talk about how much YouTube costs them, but I've seen companies run massive video platforms like Stage 6. And Divx was, I mean, that's the amount of money it costs for them to host the videos,
Yeah.
and serve them up was fucking retarded, because at the time when Google was still doing like 240p, 4:3, and the shitty YouTube, these Stage 6 fuckers were out of their minds. They're doing like 1080p, high definition. You could watch anime and then immediately watch a porno. They didn't give a fuck. They let you put up anything.
Oh yeah.
And they,
The
they
people at
offset.
Stage 6, they were based out of San Diego,
Yeah.
actually,
And
and
and the
I had
thing
friends who worked for them when I was going to film school.
Yeah, and I fucking loved the site, but they offset a lot of their cost by doing smart marketing and by doing smart deals with other companies. I mean, they had a thing worked out with Yahoo to,
Yeah.
like when you download the DivX player, Yahoo would do something, and basically made Yahoo pay for the majority of their fucking costs just to get Yahoo used as a fucking search engine. But
But but what happened to them? They ended up running out of money and closing down.
no, that's not what happened.
Oh, it's not.
No. Okay, so the DivX Corporation wanted to get into Hollywood. They wanted their codec to be used for fucking movies, for DVDs and
That's
shit
true
like
because
that.
they had the DivX DVD player, and you could get them for
Right.
like a
And
few bucks a
so
DVD.
when they went to the negotiation table with Hollywood, with all the studios basically said to them, "Hey, listen, we'd love to do that, but you assholes are basically throwing up all our copyrighted content on your video sharing platform, and every time we've asked you to take it down, you basically told us to go fuck ourselves. So maybe you need to address that first before we have any negotiations." And so the DivX boardroom had a giant pissing match. Basically, it worked out where one of the people that helped to create Stage 6 offered to raise the money himself. He was going to raise like $15 million to buy it from DivX and make it a separate entity. But because of egos in the boardroom, they said, fuck it, we're shutting it all down. We're not going to sell it to you. We don't care. It's done. I mean, Microsoft made offers. Yahoo made offers. A lot of people made multi-million dollar offers for Stage 6. And because of egos in the boardroom, none of them were taken. They just completely sunk it. The funny thing to that is, after this happened, Stage 6 gets shut down. Divx goes back to Hollywood, and Hollywood says, you know what? We reconsidered. We're not interested.
Okay, that would make
So
some sense.
Yeah, so they're basically I don't even know what Divx does now. I mean, they're part of some phone company in like Taiwan or some shit, or
Maybe,
South Korea.
yeah. I
So they completely they shot themselves in the foot by being short-sighted and by letting egos get in the way. They should have let the guy buy it. If he had, we would have had an alternative to YouTube. I mean, they were doing near the same numbers that YouTube was at the time they got bought out by Google.
Well, they probably would be the predominant platform, just given the codec of DivX, how well the compression worked, and how easily transferable the files were. I mean, because that was a big thing when it came to the copyrighted content. Not saying I dabbled in any of that, just that I had friends who did. And that was a big thing. And I remember too, there was also you remember the DivX DVD player, right?
Yeah, you know what it kind of sticking a little bit to the stage thing. You know what I really liked about Stage 6 and how forward thinking they were? What they allowed you to do was, you can't even do this on YouTube. YouTube tried to do it, and they did a really hollow version of it. But you had your own page, you had your own video uploads and stuff. You could, favorite, likes, share, all the same shit you can do on YouTube. But they let you make sub communities on the website itself. So let's say that all the skeptics, right, wanted to make skeptic at Stage 6. It would be the hub that all of their channels were combined into. So all
Oh,
of their subscribers could go there, watch all the videos and get updated on them. And then it had forums built in that the people that set up that hub could moderate. So like it was really like they were doing really crazy cool shit. It still bums me out that they're gone.
that's wow. Yeah, I didn't know they did that because interestingly enough, when I was in film school and we first heard of YouTube, I none of us really paid that much attention to it because we thought, oh, we're all going to go to Hollywood, and that whole song and dance. So it wasn't until when I got to Hollywood I realized, wait, everyone's doing YouTube. Fuck. But no, Divx was interesting. I'll have to go and ask my friend who used to work there, maybe what they're doing now, and then I can give you some insight later on.
They're
Um,
probably hanging from ropes that they put over branches of trees after they realized how big they fucked up. Like that is such a bad
yeah.
business decision to screw that kind of an asset for. You
Well,
have money offer on the table, just take it. Why completely shut it? You could have just sold it and made profit. What are you doing?
ego is will kill has killed a lot of shit, but it's like okay, like Vimeo actually came out prior to YouTube, and Vimeo's been sustainable, but it's also never gotten that same level. It's never been able to blow up as much, and even now everyone's like, oh, VidMe, 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 but it's like you got fucking Vimeo, which is established as all hell. It actually has a better compression system than YouTube does,
Now,
and you can
Sticks brought up something with Vimeo. Don't you have to pay though for a certain amount of hosting?
I have to go. You used to, I think. I don't know if anymore, but I also haven't touched Vimeo in
Well, and I
years.
mean, and shit, that's the crazy thing about VidMe too, is they announced a new policy limiting total upload lengths, or your cache of upload ability to 50 gigabytes. So if you have more
Okay.
content than 50 gigabytes, you're gonna have to start deleting stuff.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, the fact that YouTube's able to basically kind of hide the 400 years of content open, or was it 400 hours of content uploaded every single minute? Is what this?
It's some phenomenally crazy number that they're getting uploaded and watched and viewed and streamed
Yeah.
every fucking day. Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
Well, also too, like it was like I think it was one of the CEOs of YouTube, and not Susan Wojcicki, but someone else, one of the higher ups, had said by 2019, like 95% of all internet traffic is going to be video related. People are just searching
Yeah.
for video. They're pushing mobile like crazy. They want people watching mobile. I watch mobile all the time. I know a lot of people that do. And it's just that's kind of where things seem to be headed. And I don't know if there's going to be any way for people on our, I guess, side of things to use that as a platform to continue earning a living. But I mean, I think what we're going to see is people are going to have to really diversify their income streams. And you're hearing about this now, but everyone's like, oh, merchandise, merchandise, merchandise.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I watched some guy make some compilation video where we laugh at people falling on their ass. I don't know if I necessarily want to buy a fucking t-shirt with 420 no scope or funny fall on ass videos branded on it.
Yeah, I mean, but someone out there might. I think that's the thing to keep in mind too, is that there's an audience. There are people that would be willing to purchase like a MundaneMatt little pillow because a fan made me one
If you try to sell, okay, Matt,
I'm
listen,
not selling. I'm not
if you
selling. I'm
try to
not
sell,
selling that.
if you try to sell a Mundane Matt pillow, you will never hear the end of it. Listen, there was a dude that used to sell clocks with his face on it, and I've heard jokes about that for 8 years. Like, you need to
Yeah.
stay the fuck away from that.
I no. I'm pretty certain that if I were to do that, it would be probably an act of pure desperation, or I would, yeah, I know, trust me, I would not hear the end of that shit for a long goddamn time. It would be worse than, I think, turn off that pesky ad block. It would
Well,
be total.
and the realistic thing too is, and I don't think a lot of these people that want to do merchandising are really forward thinking, at least in this regard. Um, a lot of the shit people use for that make up part of their icons and part of their brand, if you want to call it that,
Oh, it's
is
copyrighted.
copyrighted assets that other people did or fan
Yep.
drawings. And the last thing you want to do is sell 100,000 shirts, and then the guy that drew you the picture that you put on the shirt says, "Hey, we never had an agreement that you could do that, and now you owe me money."
Well, actually, yeah, that's why the guy who did my logo, I've actually talked to him and I've worked out an agreement with him. So, and again, that's the thing. And when I say that a lot of people who do this as a job, they don't ever look at the business side of YouTube. They never they or not just YouTube, but just the business of this type of world in general, of what you need. It's like we argue fair use a lot in what we do, but if someone were still to come and like file a lawsuit against us, we would still have to come up with the money to defend ourselves. And like that's a big thing. We're already seeing that with like the Bible Reloaded's having that happen to them, H3H3's having that happen to them, and it's just these, this can happen. And so there are downsides to how we do things.
Well,
Or what
if you're going to do it, get it. My suggestion to anybody listening is, if you're going to do this, get everything in writing. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you are asking for legal
Yeah.
liabilities later on down the road. Get it in writing. Get a fucking contract,
Yep.
because you don't want to be Mr. Popular with 500,000 subs that just moved a shit ton of merchandise, and then your ass gets dragged into civil court because you owe money, because that is going to be a fucking nightmare.
Well, even on my stream right now, I have like the little lower banner with the Twitter and the Facebook and the Patreon. That little thing was actually sent to me by a fan. They drew that, they designed that, and then I asked them if I could have it, and they said yes. So I sent them a release form for that specific image, because that's like, if I'm like gonna have it up, I might as well have a release form signed for it. This way, my ass is covered legally.
Also, what always kind of makes me laugh, right? A lot of people I notice go through Teespring to get their merchandise branded to sell and shit. Why
Yeah.
why would you go through a middleman that's going to take such a huge cut? You could go to Alibaba or another Chinese site, get the same merchandise at the same quality made for literally 3 or 4 cents, and then fucking sell it yourself. So like I don't think a lot of these guys that are doing merchandising with their brands really have any idea how to make or maximize their own profits. It's funny to me to watch them go through third parties to do it rather than just doing it directly, because oh, I'm scared of the foreigners. How am I gonna work out a deal with the Chinese? What if they fuck me? Well, they'll send you sample qualities. You can work
Yeah.
with them.
I've been looking into getting like the skull logo on like a patch, like an iron-on patch, just as an idea. So I've reached out to other companies to get some samples. I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple of them. I mean, like, no, it's all part of the branding. It's all part of the merchandising, and this is part of entertainment. Look at, like, I will fully admit, like, I'm wearing a Boba Fett fucking jersey. I'm a walking billboard for Star Wars right now. I'm okay with that because I like Star Wars. But and that's part of it. That's part of the game. I think it's all about like being smart about how you do it, and then also not, not I don't know, being a cunt really, and not fucking around with other people's shit, and then getting upset when you get caught. Because there's a
No,
lot of people out there that get caught doing really dumb shit on YouTube, and then pull the what
yeah,
nonsense.
there've been like the what is it, the CS:GO lottery scandal,
Yeah,
where the guy ran the site himself and made all the profit and faked the videos like a cunt, and
I,
robbed his subscribers of a shit ton of money because he's an asshole.
well, you have to. I mean, okay, I gotta ask you. Let me ask your opinion on that. Do you think Valve was like aware of everything?
I think, like, I don't think Valve is necessarily a bad company, but I think that Valve can have its head up its fucking ass a lot of the time, and I think maybe they might have looked the other way a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
dude, it was a $2.3 billion a year industry.
right, and
They looked
so
the other way a lot.
right, and so I mean, that kind of shit happens a lot, but kind of on the branding thing, don't you think it's going to set up a situation for these people that want to make YouTube a career, right? Let's say demonetization with ads happen, and you have to go at it on your own. And let's say Patreon works and they're not going to throw you off. Like, you're safe, you're good, you're fine. And you want to make up your revenue by doing branded merchandise, okay? Aren't you robbing Peter to pay Paul? Like, if I'm your fan and I'm going to give you $10 a month and I do it through Patreon, but then you're selling a T-shirt, well, okay, I'll buy the T-shirt, but now you're not going to get the Patreon money. Won't that just equal out to the same amount of money?
Yeah, but it's but the question is though, you won't get that Patreon money that month, but will you continue the Patreon money the next month? You know, it might be a general offset in order to then continue having a sustained relationship with that person, because you're not always going to be selling T-shirts, or you're not always going to be selling other things, and so it kind of has that base. Plus, people will always find a way to justify spending for entertainment, whether it's buying a movie or a video game or so on and so forth, or even supporting their favorite creators. You know, there are always going to be, you know, questions that are brought up in terms of how this stuff works. But the great thing, I think, I mean, like, okay, like, look at someone like Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh. Like, they've created these entire, you know, especially Glenn Beck has created these brands around them. Sure, it's crashed and burned for Beck, but you know, in his heyday, he was writing what, a couple books a year, putting on all those shows that were going to theaters and stuff. I mean, he was just selling you constantly, and people were buying it up, and still a bunch of them support him with the Blaze and other projects that he's working on. So if done right, you can sustain that part of your existence and not burn out your fan. If it's just diversified enough, you may take a hit here and there, but in the end, it all kind of evens out.
Yeah, but I mean, if you take somebody like a Glenn Beck, I mean, he was propelled to fame basically through a free medium. I mean, people watch the television show. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily paying their cable bill to watch Glenn Beck. It's not really comparable to Patreon support. And with Glenn Beck, I mean, he's getting blasted out to millions of people. I mean, I just think that there's a real risk with, again, pitting your hopes too much on YouTube. And I think that people are going to kind of come to the reality of, if ads disappear completely, and this is the, you know, the career choice that they really, really want to have, that they're going to find out that, you know, there are limits, that their fans may love them quite a bit, but, you know, maybe it's a T-shirt this month and no Patreon, or maybe it's Patreon and no T-shirt, and it's going to kind of find a steadying level where they're not able to really push it further back to where they were used to by getting these ads served up. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I don't know. That's my take on it, at least.
Well, and I don't think there's going to be a perfect solution to the problem. There's always like it. Let's say, for example, the ads come back, things, you know, magically fix themselves, and everyone is, you know, going back to being fat, dumb, and happy and not complaining about it. There's going to be another event.
Oh,
You
wait,
know,
wait, can I address one question? This guy brought this up. Do you mind?
yeah,
Kenneroth, I think it is. He said, for some fans it might be, though. But I mean, that kind of goes back to what I was talking, or Matt and I were talking about earlier. Like, when we say the shit really hasn't hit the fan with competition for who can get the money to come to their Patreon. Um, let's say you've got a fan that does support you, but he might support 5 other people. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
like, yeah, you may have somebody that's got super deep pockets, but that money's being distributed to 20 different people, so they're not going to have that extra disposable income. Like, you're whale hunting at that point. You're looking for that Japanese businessman that's going to buy you a Lamborghini because he thought your fucking Muppet video was funny. You know what I mean? Like, it's really wishful thinking. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to
No,
address
it's
it.
true. But I mean, I know a guy who does streams every morning on Twitch, gets at least $300-400 a morning on his 2-hour live stream, and a lot of it is from one dude who lives in like Dubai and has like a lot of oil money, you know, and just likes him and wants to support him and shit. So finding that whale is not entirely out of the question. But yeah, when everyone's out there trying to be Captain fucking Ahab, the seas are going to get populated really quick, you know, and those whales are gonna they're gonna go and hide. So that's going to be a problem, and that day will come. I don't know when. You know, I'm also waiting for it to impact the social justice warriors. I'm waiting for it to really kind of go after them, because look how much money they make compared to how much money people like us make. You know, like, those fuckers pay out. That's got to go away sometime.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that has to do again with the cyclical nature of the internet. Things kind of ebb and flow, and things get popular and diminish and come back. I think you're going to start to see kind of a rise of really, I don't even know what to call it, but I think H Bomber Guy is good a representation of it. He's making about 4,400 a month on Patreon right now.
Hmm.
I mean, he's gotten really popular, and you could call him an SJW. You know, he lambasts Sargon, and he goes after pickup artists, and he does all of that kind of shit. But people like his content, and it's not like a Zoe Quinn or Brianna Wu approach to it. It's the same kind of message, but it's wrapped up in a different kind of humor, and I think that's what's propping them up right now.
Maybe.
I I,
Well,
I, I
it's
don't know.
also, I mean, look at the beginning days of Gamergate. You know, Brianna Wu goes out there, does that "woe is me" couch feigning nonsense, throws up a Patreon and gets like $4,000 in a month, and it's gone down since then. But even Zoe Quinn has maintained this massive, in earning off of that every single month, and it's this has been 3 years now almost of this kind of stuff. I mean, shit, look how much money Anita Sarkeesian makes. There's apparently a lot of money. There's a lot of benefactors out there, right? There's a lot of people out there that are paying for this shit. And and you'll hear the rumors like, oh, it's all George Soros funded. But there are people out there with a lot of money to burn that are wanting to see this narrative move forward. And then there are people, you could say, on our side that are doing that same thing. They'll put out some money, maybe not as much because they maybe they spread it around, but they still want those ideals discussed, and it just becomes the situation where it's going to boil down to who has the most money, really.
Yeah, your guy in chat sees the ganja, I think it is. He's actually pretty fairly accurate. If you want to make a shit ton of money online, porn is the way to go. Like,
Yeah,
it's great that like the biggest Patreons are all either drawing related or porn related.
which
Like
is so
if you
funny because
if you
Patreon
can,
says no porn's allowed.
yeah, if you can draw porn, you are a rich motherfucker on the internet, because regardless of your political ideology, everybody likes jacking off. So that is
Yeah.
probably the most secure internet job you could get if you're good at drawing, is to go for that.
It's or just become a cam whore. I mean, there was one YouTuber, Clara Baby Legs, that was like doing gaming, and then like that kind of dried up, so she jumped over to being a cam whore. Makes a lot more money doing that now.
Yeah, sex sells, man. I mean,
Oh,
it,
it
it always
does.
has. That's remember when YouTube, everybody's bitching about clickbait thumbnails because there were a bunch of big titted chicks in every one of them.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean that was a big thing. I used to like video responses. I mean, back in the day, you have this back and forth between content creators or people that are putting up videos. Maybe they get into a fight. You've got to like jump from one channel to the other. But back in the day, you would have video responses that went above the comment and below the video, so you could literally, I could tag onto your live stream right now a response to something you said, and everybody could click it and go watch it. But they
Yeah.
got rid of it because cam whores took over and basically pinned their videos on every single video that ever went up, regardless of the content it was about.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember. I loved video responses. It's a solid tactic for trying to get your name out there in some respects, and I see why the cam whores were doing it. But yeah, when they got rid of that, I was so pissed off. It was a lot of fun to go back and forth on that kind of stuff. But at the same time, the responsibility also falls on the creator because they still had to okay it. And so if the people were out there trying to, not if the content creators were not caring what content was there and therefore adding to that problem, then they're fucking assholes. But they still had to be the ones to say, yay, this video could be here.
Okay, well, I've been trying to get a lot of different people's opinions on this, so let me just ask you this, because I've been
Sure.
asking everybody. What do you see playing out in the next 3 months as far as Google and YouTube is concerned in regards to everything from advertisement to what they allow as content? Do you see it as becoming more draconian? Do you see it as just kind of diminishing and disappearing? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, this is the hard question because so August is usually when the holiday ad season starts to pick up, right? It starts to get a little bit better in August. September does a little bit better. October, November, December is when you're hitting your really really solid ad revenue months. Those are the months that basically make you survive for like the first half of the next year, essentially. And if this month it doesn't pick up, and in next month it doesn't pick up, then yeah, it's gonna fuck over a lot of people because this is where they're going to. This might be the people they know that people know the holiday season is where you're making money. They know that, and if they take that away during the golden time of the year, that's gonna run a lot of people off, and that could be their tactic if they are trying to clean house, if they are trying to go draconian on this. and make it a specific type of content that gets popular on this particular platform, then that's going to be the way to do it. You're going to have to suffocate them out during the best time of the year, and that's basically at this point what I'm waiting for. Like I've got enough in savings, or I can, I'm covered, I'm good. But it's starting to go down. It's starting to go down, and it's like what's going to be coming in the next couple months. If that doesn't pick up again, then it's like there's a lot of that reevaluation of like, okay, where is my time going? I've got a kid that I'm going to be having in either November or early December. So I've got to prepare for that. I've got to make sure like I've got money to take care of her. I've got to make sure that I'm working so my girlfriend can take the 3 months off of work in order to raise our daughter. Like that is at this point in time the next great concern. And and I've been a little bit vocal about this on Twitter. You've messaged me too about it, and it's like I don't like to bitch about it on Twitter, but there's those moments where you just feel like you're literally just kind of lost in that moment. The weight of everything going on, all your decisions kind of come crashing down on you, and it gets pretty intense. But if it starts to come back to where it's manageable for enough people, then it's going to keep people around, and a lot of it's going to boil down. The old analogy of the dog on the nail.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
All right, so that old saying is, there's a dog on a deck and it's always barking and whining and complaining because it's sitting on a nail, and instead of getting off the nail and moving on, the dog just sits there and keeps complaining because it's easier than actually getting up. And that's kind of what I think might be more realistic as to what might happen, which is where the ads kind of stabilize to what could be considered manageable for living. Maybe not what you were earning, but enough to where you're getting by. And so people will continue to do it because it's easier than going out and getting another job. It's annoying, but it's manageable. And instead of trying to better their content or try to get more patrons or so on and so forth, they will continue to just bitch about the amount of money that they're not earning, even though they're making enough to just kind of barely skate. And I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be that person. I honestly really hate the fact that we have to talk about this kind of shit. And we don't have to talk about it, but it's, again, this is just, because keep in mind, remember, okay, when you did your video about Linkara, all right?
Yep.
And I laughed my ass off at the beginning of that because I knew that was going to be in there. I had a feeling you were going to pull another mini little kind of jab at me on that one. Because I did a video about Linkara at the time. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was called YouTube is a Hobby, Not a Job. And I attacked Linkara for what he said in that video. Like YouTube, I'm like, you can't live off ad revenue, that kind of shit.
No, I just thought it was a funny opening.
It was a great opening. It was a great opening. I love that little video.
Let me ask you this then. Let's say August numbers are good. Let's say ads come back, right? And so that's good. You can make your money off advertising again. Everybody relaxes a little bit. But let's say on top of that, this limbo state thing doesn't go away. So is everybody got a gun held to their head as to what they can talk about? I mean, is that a profession that people are going to want to pursue where it's well, geez, I'd really love to talk about this story, but I know if I do it, I'm going to be put in the timeout corner. Are they going to use,
I don't know.
Are they going to use the carrot and the stick? Behave yourself and we'll give you that juicy ad revenue, but just don't you dare say a certain word we don't like.
It's possible. It is entirely possible. I have no idea until we're there. But then I also don't want to be caught in a situation like like cooking a frog in boiling water, slowly turning up the heat so you don't know what's happening. Like, and I don't want to get to that point. I don't want to be so complacent with being restricted that we just kind of deal with it until we're in over our heads and we have no other choice, but to comply. I don't feel like YouTube is going to try to go that particular route. They understand the kind of content on this on this platform is not TV. And I know they're trying to push YouTube TV, and that could be a factor. I
guarantee you that's a factor. YouTube wants, I mean, everybody knows television is on the decline. Nobody really watches television that much, except for a few specific shows here or there on a favorite network or maybe even a pay network. But the reality of it is their numbers are shit. And, when you got a guy, some Swedish fucker that can scream at the top of his lungs while he, runs away from mechanical teddy bears, and he's getting 4 million views for that, and your Anderson Cooper can barely get, 500,000 people to watch him sit there and spew his bullshit, the
Yeah.
television, companies, these corporations look and say, what the fuck are we doing wrong? So I think that, Google sees this as an opportunity to try to make some weird merger of, let's make it from YouTube to, maybe UTV, where we're going to bring in these I mean, I've seen fucking ads where it said, I think it was on YouTube, where it talked about, would you like to try like a promo, a beta of watching television through our platform? So I just don't know, man. I think things are fucked, and I think they're going to get worse. And that the whole reaction to the memo really spooks me. I think that it maybe will turn into a carrot and stick approach, and I think it's going to make a lot of the content that people make shit. And I think it's going to scare off a lot of people from talking about things they really want to talk about because they're concerned that it's going to hurt their bottom line.
No, that's true. I mean, like there are things I don't talk about because I know that I won't be able to monetize them. But again, it boils down to being a business decision. It's not the best thing on the planet. I mean, I hate the fact that CNN can do wall to wall Syria coverage showing the little boy in Aleppo that's like covered in blood and grime and run ads on that shit. But if I talk about it, I don't get the same treatment. That is horseshit, and that's annoying as fuck. Now, there's always the talks about like, is there going to be another platform that's going to come out? Or there, like VidMe or whatever that's going to be able to do that? But even VidMe has started censoring the out there political content, and so I don't have an answer. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like yes, the response to that memo is definitely telling of the times. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what the next steps to be. Like, Sargon had said today, like, make sure you support your favorite creators by following them on social media and you keep up with them.
How did that work out for him?
Yeah, I know he was banned on he's like an hour later. So go figure on that one. It's yeah. I mean, it's a battle. It's a battle between different ideologies, and until the left, like, I don't know. I mean, if Trump can continue triggering them to the point of almost obsolescence, then maybe we have a chance. Maybe we have a chance for like the average rational person to come around and realize that it's not all sexist or racist or homophobic, and that these people that are just crying about it are literally crying about it. But I mean, there is a lot of people out there, or there are a lot of people out there that have watched like content from you and content from me and even, and a lot of other people, and they realize that like the left is acting like a fucking fool. I mean, look at the Evergreen State College situation. It blew up to the point of where like they're starting to lose their funding. University of Missouri had the protests from 2015, and the way that the university bent over backwards for those protests have cost them like $20 million. They've had to shut down 3 dorms and lay off a bunch of staff. So there are repercussions in the real world for these events being covered as they've been covered. But yeah, we're not getting any bit of the support to do it, which is the unfortunate thing.
Oh yeah, I just say again, the guy in your chat, LiveLeak doesn't censor. Yeah, but LiveLeak fucking hates YouTubers. Like, there's nothing worse than going on LiveLeak and some fucking YouTuber is shitting it up. That's the that's the last place. They'd like you about as much as World Star Hip Hop would like you if you brought your shit over there. That's not, I don't think, the fucking solution.
Yeah, I don't know. LiveLeak. I go there to watch like the seriously crazy gore stuff. Other than that, it's World Star Hip Hop.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so I don't know. I've just been trying to get people's opinions. I'm working on this video for this weekend, and just looking back at the history of the shit that's been going on in tech is kind of crazy. It was worse than I really kind of realized, I guess, and it was worse than even when I was first considering doing the video, and then looking at the memo and all these Google employees talking, and then I got people sending me shit from the. It's just I don't fucking know. I just feel like, a situation is a brewing, and I think people are going to get really fucking caught off guard. And, people say like, oh, well, we'd fight back. If they censor us here, we'll fight back. But if you can't put a video up on YouTube, if you can't tweet, if you can't put up a Facebook post, if you can't put up a Tumblr blog, where are you going to fight? Who's going to listen to you? Like, people like to say, oh, it's just this normie shit that everybody uses. What does it matter? Well, it's the fucking normies that you've got to convince this shit is wrong. So
Yeah.
if you can't get a message out to them and say, look at what's happening, you're fucked. The battle's over. And it just, it feels like it's just getting more and more. I use the word a lot, but draconian. It's just very very fucking dystopian. I wanted my cyberpunk future to be better. I wanted fuck robots and rocket ships, not SJWs running fucking Google. I don't know what happened. I got robbed.
Well, you could still get fuck robots. I mean, like they're coming, and apparently, SJWs be damned.
Yeah,
So
well, the feminists are already trying to get them banned, because they know that the second a guy can fuck a robot that doesn't talk back, that relationships are forever changed.
yeah, I mean, once those robots go worldwide, the entire population of Japan is fucked. So that's just gonna happen. But I mean, yeah, there's always going to be pushback against this kind of stuff. But the biggest problem is it's this is a byproduct of the helicopter parent of the everyone gets a participation trophy nonsense. This is a byproduct of that. And those kids have now grown up and they've moved into adulthood. And for some reason, the real world, which is usually there to kind of smack some sense into you, has been outright placating their wildest dreams. And it's not showing any kind of, well, I mean, I'd say maybe some extent it's slowing down in some areas. But yeah, in Silicon Valley and tech, it's going to be there for a while. And that has a lot to do with the San Francisco mindset. But keep in mind, too, that a lot of companies are moving out of Silicon Valley. And
thank fucking God for that. Yeah,
they
as
can't
the
afford it.
mecca of tech is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're moving out. They're moving out of those places, and they're going. I mean, a lot of them are moving to Seattle. A lot of them are moving to Portland. I mean, yeah, these are left-leaning cities. Clearly, Portland has some issues. Don't get me wrong. Used to not be like that. I grew up in Portland. Used to not be what it is now. I'll tell you that. But there are a lot of people out there that okay, keep in mind too that a lot of the executives of these companies, they're moving to like rural areas. Okay, so for where I just moved to Olympia, Washington, and my realtor was telling me that there are so many people, executives from these big tech companies, that are coming up to this city, which has got 45,000 people. It's a small town, and it's an hour commute into into the city. But there's so many like conservative minded people out here. Yeah, you have like your Evergreen State College, which is only a few miles away from me, and they're crazy libs. But in the city, man, it's like people here, like they have Trump Pence stickers everywhere. I've seen dudes fly the Confederate flag around here. So they're getting exposed to these different thoughts and these different opinions. But it's when they get into the epicenter of the business and that mindset continues to permeate that those people make all the noise, but the executives generally don't give a shit unless they're forced to. I think the Google memo forced their hand because of the fact that the guy released it on the company intranet,
Right. Somebody mentioned something in chat about AI, and I love uncomfortable questions. Can I ask you an uncomfortable question?
You want to add? Sure.
Okay, awesome. Are you familiar with harmful opinions?
Fuck me.
Yeah, you walked right into this one. You know who harmful opinions is, right?
Look, okay, I'm fully aware. I know what you want to talk about. I cannot say anything legally for another 13 months.
Oh, is that right?
So I will fully admit that there was a 2-year non-disparagement clause in my contract. The company isn't even around anymore. I don't quite know where it stands on a legal sense. I'm also just not going
would
to.
Would you be willing to say harmful opinions is God?
I'm not going to say harmful opinions is anything. Tim is a fucking idiot.
Oh,
I'm sorry. He has an interesting perspective on a few things, but his way of going about it was, I don't think, the most accurate.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's relevant to the conversation. I mean, we're talking about a large corporation fucking with an individual, right? I mean, like this guy who wrote the memo, right? Who wrote the memo was now blacklisted. They're talking about blacklisting him. And who stands up for him or who speaks out to him? And here you got little harmful opinions who's kind of saying the same thing about, I won't name the company, certain company, allow me to speak candidly about this.
Sure. Yeah, we all want that kind of, open, anonymous discussion. Sure.
So you have to wait 2 years before you can really talk about this, huh?
Well, not 2 years. It's a 2-year non-disparagement clause. It's basically just like I can't like badmouth the company.
Oh, let's do this then. Today's opposite day. So say all the good things you want to about this particular company, because then it's not a disparagement.
Well, I will tell you what I will say is when this situation went down, and I saw what was being said and also what was being shown, I did go to the CEO of the company, and because I was on board to do another video and probably do a couple more videos for them. They were really trying at that time to get a lot of people involved, and I told them based on the controversy, based on what's going on, I will not be doing any more videos about that particular program. So I pulled myself out of the running for anything, and that did definitely cost me several $1,000s. I don't regret that though, because looking at what was showcased, there were definitely some causes for concern.
Well, now what have those concerns be? And again, this is hypothetical. Let's say
there's privacy concerns. I would argue there are some privacy concerns.
Well, no, let's move into hypothetical, because I'll keep your ass out of legal fire. Let's say that. Let's say let's say there's a company called Discreet.com. They're not very candid about things. And so Discreet.com is run by ex-Google people, and they come out with this program, and there's some rumors circulating that they want to use an AI to kind of parse through what they consider acceptable or unacceptable content. And then it turns out that Google itself, the main company, after Discreet.com just stops doing what Discreet.com does for whatever reason, Google comes out and says, hey, yeah, we've been taking down a shit ton of videos, like they recently have said, and 75% of it was done with this new AI we're using. That would seem kind of coincidental, wouldn't it? That an ex-Google employee would go make a new company, have all these people with radical opinions show up on their platform, maybe train an AI, shut down the company, and then go bring that AI back and sell it off to a company like, say, Google, the people they used to work for. Would you say that Discreet.com may have done something like that? I
would say that that's not out of the realm of possibility. Mm-hmm. And also, I do believe that, if I recall correctly, that was also, I think, part of the original business plan of the company
of Discreet.com. Yeah.
I think it was also part. I think that was also part of their hypothetical business plan from when they were, doing it. I will fully say that Discreet.com, a lot of people who talk about Discreet.com, who talked on their behalf, maybe didn't do as much digging as they should have in some respects into what the company offers. I don't.
Would you say let's say that Discreet.com, again, hypothetically, crazy idea, hires what they like to call social media influencers. Okay. Would you say that those social media influencers might have played an inadvertent part in fucking over everybody by training that AI, by getting people to use their Discreet platform?
I don't think their intention was to fuck. Hypothetically, I wouldn't.
Inadvertently, not
inadvertently. I don't believe that their intention was inadvertently fuck people over. I believe that their intention was to create something that would be good for. I want to think, hypothetically, that their intention was to try to find a way to stop something from, let's say, like Justine Sacco from happening again. Or they at least use that as a basis for their idea. Now, there's a lot of other hypothetical accusations against Discreet.com that also came up that I don't know much about on anything. I basically tuned out after that first week for a lot of it.
Well, all I can say is I love Discreet.com, and I'm not telling you that because their CEO is in my house with a gun. Okay? Discreet.com is amazing, and their CEO is in no way threatening my life right now as I tell you this.
Sure. Yeah, their CEO, man. Yeah, there could be a Z. We have no idea. Hypothetical company could be a trans person. Could be a turtlekin.
Could be a turtlekin. But yeah, I mean, I do see parallels like that, and this is my personal opinion. I think harmful opinions got fucked over pretty hard, and I think I get why you think that, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but like he hit that with like some serious levels of just like tinfoil hat, like he started treating everyone. He never gave anyone the benefit of the doubt, which is my biggest complaint against him,
was like, he never sat there and said, like, did you know anything about this? It was just attack video, attack video. And so he then continued to push it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Matt, imagine yourself in a situation. We'll use another hypothetical. A hypothetical. We'll not talk about discrete or any of its parallels. Let's just what fancy little. How about we call it fucking bullshit.com? Let's
Okay.
say fucking bullshit.com for whatever reason decides they want to fuck with you, and they want to fuck with your family. And you look around at all the people that are content creators, kind of in a similar vein, and they fucking love fucking bullshit.com. They're doing promo videos for fucking bullshit.com. And you're thinking that's really weird. So you make more videos talking about, well, that's weird. Why are they doing it? And then they make videos not only defending fucking bullshit.com, but maybe even kind of attacking you. Wouldn't that make you kind of paranoid, man?
Yeah, there was a couple of, yeah, okay. No. I get that. I completely understand and I am sympathetic. I say that my response to the initial outrage on fucking bullshit.com, hypothetically, has been was in response to how I felt I was framed. But people have taken that and they have determined in their weird hypothetical deluded mind that I was paid $10,000 to make that hypothetical video.
No,
And
that would have gone to the incredible theist, let's say hypothetically, would have been
well,
the
I
one
would
making
argue
about
more. I
10,000.
argue more. It would be the tailored skeptic would be a person that would probably be more
There you go. Yeah,
in that particular category
these two
as a
individuals.
hypothetical channel
Yeah.
personality online. Yeah, there were people hypothetically that went with that a little bit too. I think a little bit too far. I saw it for what it was hypothetically, and I removed myself from the equation. Just because I didn't feel that it was worth it. I do agree that there was probably it could have been handled a lot better hypothetically, right? Fucking bullshit.com could have handled it a lot better. Those influencers talking about fucking bullshit.com could have handled it a lot better. And the person, floating brain could have probably, I think, maybe started it off a little bit better,
I mean, at the end of the day,
would,
it might be a little bit funny. I mean, it's kind of like hoisted by your own petard, right? I mean, if these social media influencers help to create an AI that's going to censor them, and then they get censored themselves by getting paid to do this, they kind of fuck themselves, right? I mean, they
no,
ran
I'm not
through their
disagreeing
own
with you.
sword.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. It's let's chalk that entire hypothetical experience up to lessons learned.
Lessons learned. Very good. Always read the fucking contract and know
Oh
you're getting
yeah.
involved
Oh
with.
no.
Yeah.
Well, no. I will say this though. So the second one I did the game. I did a game sponsored video earlier this year, and they actually sent me like a contract. It was a disclosure contract, a disclosure agreement. Like they had outlined rules for what needed to be in there. I had to sign it. I had to agree to it. I had to send it back to them. They had to review the video, review the text, review everything, and they made sure that everything was legally on the up and up, which I will say I completely liked because I felt like that was a very professional approach to it. It wasn't trying to screw anyone over. It wasn't, they're trying to do it the right thing. Fucking bullshit.com maybe, got a little bit ahead of itself in how it handled certain things. And I think at the time, when you had the theoretical theist, making videos about it, because of how large of a channel he hypothetically is, people might have just taken what he did and run with it at face value, thinking, oh, well, if he did it, then he must have already done the research. So again, lessons learned of what not to do hypothetically for the future.
Right. I mean, and it's also funny, what parallel name could I come up with? Let's call them the incredulous bunch. As opposed to what they might be called. That the incredulous bunch wasn't really fucking incredulous when it came to who they were doing business with is a bit ironic, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Actually, I would wholeheartedly agree with you there. There were some those incredulous people. They weren't so incredulous. and some
Well,
of the stuff
well, well,
that they responded with.
well, thank you for at least playing along with my hypotheticals, Matt. I give you credit. Most people wouldn't. You sure you don't want to tell me that harmful opinions isn't God, though? I mean, you just throw it out
No,
there.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm okay on that one. No, it's it's like I said, dude, like life lessons. This is there are ups, there are downs. You make mistakes. The best course of action is to learn from them, and then to not do them again. And that was a big clusterfuck in its entirety, and it's one that I don't look back on fondly. I think of that video that I did in response to harmful opinions, and I think I could have handled that better, and I should have handled that better, but I felt like it was a personal attack, and I just responded emotionally instead of logically, and that was my fault. And then when I realized that, I realized where things were going. I backed away. I said, fuck it, I'm done. And I really wish others would have done the same.
Yeah, the situation as a whole, this is just for me as an outsider kind of watching it play itself out. And I wasn't even really focused on any of the stuff that you did. There's more two other particular individuals, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I felt bad for what was happening to the guy. I think he got dealt with unfairly. I don't like the idea of a corporation fucking with an individual to that extent. And, I guess it makes me wary of, if we're looking at some kind of a little tiff opening up here with YouTube, how the fuck are we going to trust certain individuals? Not saying you, but like say certain individuals that aren't going to tell us, oh, don't worry, man. Google's on our side. They're all good and shit. When they pulled this crap with another company that was fucking with a guy.
No, I understand completely. I do. I understand completely. And I don't think there's a way you can really do it. I think that, there's everything's got to be handled with a lot more caution and a lot more researching, and then a lot more, maybe just doing the legwork. And I think, and I'm not going to say that I've never been like, lazy on here. I've been lazy multiple times. And I think that can get us into more trouble than not. And as a result of that, we need to not do it. But this is an odd, how it is, dude. People, they come to you like they're always like, oh, Jim, talk to me. The people get they're really good at boosting your ego, right? And so you could say that some people in that theoretical and incredulous, group there, might have had moments in time where their ego was entirely fluffed to the point of where.
Are you saying they got high off the smell of their own farts a little too much?
Yeah. And I would say that, like, there was, like, I think there was a group on that platform that was dedicated to like a certain couple's relationship.
Okay, yes, I think I might know what you're talking about.
For fans of that relationship to like come on in and everything, and it's just like, you could sit there and say like there might have been a little bit of ego involved in some of this.
All right, man. You've been extremely fair with me on this, so I can take as good as I give. Is there anything uncomfortable you'd like to ask me? Any question you've had that you wanted to ask and just roast my ass a little on? I'll totally let you go for it.
You know what? Like I said before, man, it's kind of like I'm trying to think if there's anything in particular. Like I don't really. I will say okay. So like I will say this though. In the beginning, the pesky ad block memes, they got under my skin a little bit because they were fucking nonstop. So fuck you for that, but also fuck Andrew for that. But then
Andrew fucking loved that. He's
the
one that did the Saint Pepsi soundbite with the little rocket ship.
I know we did. I get the feeling like Andrew like really doesn't like me. I have nothing against him, but
yeah, no, I would say it's fair that Andrew is not a fan. I guess.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair, and that's totally fine. It's no. I mean, like, look, you've given me shit over stuff. I think we've maybe disagreed. I think I think when like when Gamergate happened, like when you exited out of that, it kind of came across like. Did you think that there were just too many people that were in it for money? Because that's kind of what like it came across like. To me personally, it felt like you were just kind of like attacking those of us who were trying to like make it our living or whatever, or just we're just too many opportunistic people? Is that
Oh,
what forced you out?
yeah. I'll explain it to you. So I left the Vokaroos up when I left because I just left, and so yeah, I'll explain the whole thing to you. I did think there were a lot of opportunists that were using it to make money. That wasn't a jab at you in particular. There were people that were already monetizing and making money before Gamergate happened. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That had no effect on me. Whether if you had videos up for like 3 fucking years before, like 2 or 3 years before that, and you were doing ads. So that had no effect on me. But there were people. What was it? One like examples. Is it Steve Tom Sawyer who wanted like
Oh yeah, I fucking hate
yeah,
that guy.
he wanted fucking rent money. People wanted you to do GoFundMe's. And it was all thrown in the hashtag, and it became this big money whoring thing. And I think it just pissed me off because I legitimately fucking hated the gaming press, and I legitimately hated the shit they had been pulling for years and years and years. And so this thing started, and I got probably way too involved in it, and it just irritated me to see this like people start to kind of filter in that weren't there because they really agreed with that, but were there because they wanted to try to capitalize off of that.
Yeah. Okay.
I've also heard a lot of things like, "Oh, but Jim, weren't you upset that you finger banged Jade on the live stream, and that made you, run away in anger?" Dude, I made a chick come in front of 5,000 people. I don't think that's really something to be ashamed of. I should fucking
Yeah,
hang
I
that
actually even
as a
then
plaque on my wall as an accomplishment.
that particular, but the King of Pole fallout from that stream, that's that was interesting.
I thought that was funny as shit, man, because like he was going like I can't even remember half of it. It was like space Nazis and shit. It was just the weirdest fucking stuff.
Oh,
Um,
he went he literally made a claim not too long after that I was plotting to kill him. Like
Paul gets so worked up over shit.
he gets, yeah, he does, and I'm sitting there going like, I live in California, you're in Florida, I don't give a shit about you, like, period.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting going on at the time, and the other thing that really pissed me off too, and it had been brewing for about a month, was people were starting to like step in and like that tone policing shit. Like, oh, don't say this. We need to be more friendly. We need to be more moderate. I got a lot of shit for saying attack, attack, attack in my little Voker that I left on poll, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to say in response to that, go listen to the advice that Trump's father gave him. Literally quoted verbatim, attack, attack, attack. Even Roger Stone says that, and that asshole's in the White House. So the strategy works to an extent. Could I have handled it better? Probably. But, again, I was really invested in it, and
Yeah.
it was a culmination of a bunch of shit. And, my exit probably wasn't the best. I also heard a lot of people say, as long as this is being brought up, oh, you're trying to leader fag, right? I did maybe like 6 streams, and I don't know if you watched them or if you remember
No, I
them,
did.
but I said repeatedly throughout all of them, like, if you're good at something, go do it. Don't wait for somebody to tell you to do it. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to go, target their advertisers, do that. If you want to go make videos, do that. Do whatever you're good at. Don't look at somebody as a leader. That's the worst thing you can do in this situation. The Vokaroos, I think, were misinterpreted as me saying, you'd better do this or else. I left them up.
I didn't look at it like that personally. I get what you were saying. I think because also, like, just given like how my involvement in Gamergate started, and then like, all that shit, how that went down. Like, I get what you were saying, but just from like I guess you could say from like a fan's perspective at the time, I think people were really looking to you. They were looking to you. Like, some people might have bitched about leader fagging, and fuck them, but like people were looking to you, like, not I think to lead, but to just kind of like be this voice of reason, like that their frustration over everything that's gone on. Here's Jim, here's Internet Aristocrat, he's made these videos, he gets it, and people really wanted that. And okay, like, I do have to kind of ask this question because this is something I'm curious about, and I'm not roasting you over it, I'm just legitimately curious.
Go ahead.
Were you at the time at all trying to make King of Pole kind of like take over for you in that regard?
That's the
Because
craziest shit I've ever heard. Why?
okay, here's my thought process on this. Just hear me out on this one,
Okay,
right?
go ahead.
Okay, and it's more like okay, so at the time when King of Pole was doing all those streams, like his first stream he brought in like 5,000 people. We all were on there, including Adam Baldwin, right? Like that big one. And then he started doing these streams all the time and getting like, 3,000-4,000 viewers and bringing in lots of people. And then you started popping up on a lot of those streams with him. as kind of just like, just always kind of, hey, popping in, talking for a little bit, popping out. But then you would bring more people with you every time you'd come on in. And then my theory at the time, is this a working theory, but it seemed to make sense to me, was like, you kind of, to me, it felt like you didn't want to lead or fag. You didn't want to be that person in charge. But King of Pole was, very much that megaphone, very much. I would even go as far as to call him a lightning rod. He has that personality. He brought in people. And then what I was working with was it felt like you were kind of like just driving everyone to him, so then you didn't have to be in the spotlight as much. That's kind of
No,
what I'm trying to say.
yeah, my main thing and the thing I said from the beginning, I thought it just, I guess it comes down to, it works better if it's an amorphous mob, right? If
Yeah.
there's not like a specific target that can be toppled, it's just better that way. I didn't want to be in charge. I didn't want anybody else really to be in charge. I thought it worked better when everybody was doing what they were good at. It wasn't my intention to try to spotlight somebody. I mean, I did a lot of streams where I'd have people come on and talk about it. Like I'd have Milo on a stream, or I'd bring Eric Kane on for like one stream. I think Total Biscuit showed up in one of them for some
Yeah.
reason. Yeah, I had you. I think, yeah, you were in one, weren't you? I'm
I
sure
think
of
I
it.
was in. I think I was in like one. Yeah, 'cause, the finger banging one. I know I popped up for a few minutes.
Yeah, gaming, low ping, is it?
I think yeah,
Short fat otaku. Like I tried when I would do these streams, and people were like, if you look at the chat, they're like, hey, bring so and so on. So I'd try to get a hold of them and bring them on to have them talk. No, it wasn't my intention to try to shift or get somebody else to be like the leader, because again, I was against the notion of a leader. I
okay,
thought everybody worked better kind of with a almost a common goal, but doing their own thing to achieve that goal. Because it's like you're hitting the thing from so many different directions, they don't know what the fuck to do.
yeah,
Like the gaming press, they didn't know. I mean, they really didn't know how to handle it. There was something they weren't ever accustomed to dealing with. And it was funny, here it starts with the, people from fucking 4chan, and then you get Reddit, and then you got YouTubers, and then you've got like TV stars and musicians and fucking people who are journalists at different outlets, and like they don't know where the artillery is getting fired from anymore, and
yeah,
they're running and they're bobbing and they're weaving, and that chaos is what gave the advantage, because they didn't ever really have a chance to do a solidified defense. And then when they tried to put up like a united front, it made it really apparent how corrupt they were, because those gamers are dead articles was pretty much the nail in the coffin. And then when the Game Journals Pro thing came out, it confirmed it for everybody. All these assholes talk to each other. They all come up with a collective narrative. They do have a reason for doing what they do. They are trying to push forward an agenda. Um, but yeah, a lot of that, my initial interest in the whole thing was I was one of the people who would browse V, you know what I mean? And it was like every fucking month there'd be some article, and they'd be like, holy shit, did you see what Kotaku wrote? Holy shit, did you see what Rock Paper Shotgun wrote?
yeah.
It was the same thing. Oh, we're all terrible people. Gamers are so bad. You're all so sexist, and you're all so shit. And like, man, it's a fucking hobby, and we like it, and we like playing our stupid little video games. Can you just fuck off and leave us alone? And
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And I don't regret Gamergate. I think it had a positive effect. It might not have accomplished all the goals that it wanted to, but it did accomplish something, a little bit of something. Look at comic books. I mean, they're fucked 7 ways from Sunday.
Oh
They,
yeah.
they, they
Oh yeah.
never had their movement to fight back, and they're just getting fucking reamed up the ass right now because of it.
Well, they're getting reamed up the ass for that, and also Marvel just doesn't know how to fucking run comics anymore. That's just they keep killing off everything because they know with number ones they make more money. Like that's their entire strategy. If it gets to like issue number 5 and it's not getting a foothold, they'll kill it, and then they'll just put a new one in its place in order to have another number 1 because those sell pretty well. So it's a really shitty tactic that's pretty apparent at this point. But yeah, they're putting in all these pro SJW, pro regressive leftist content that's pissing off the fans, which is why they're not fucking selling.
Yeah, and kind of. I just thought it's Gamergate was a weird. I mean, we're 3 years on from it. Isn't that fucking
Yeah,
crazy to think about, man? It
I
just went
know.
by like fucking that. I'm glad that Thiel and Hogan basically gangbanged Gawker into the gutter. I mean, Gawker deserved to get thrown into the fucking gutter.
It really did.
Even though Telemundo bought them up, but still, it still was good to see that happen. The Hulkster to come out and fuck him into the dirt was pretty fucking spectacular finish to it, really, I think. But yeah, yeah. I think comics are kind of. I think if you were to look at the video gaming industry and the comic book industry, it's the tale of the what ifs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Gamergate happened, and we saw the result of that. And then the comic book industry didn't have that version of it, and that's the cautionary tale of what if you don't say stop.
Oh no, and they're getting reamed left and right now. But real quick on Gamergate, I saw Zoe Quinn in person last year at Penny Arcade Expo.
Did you really?
I walked right past her, and I was gonna say something because it was on the street, and I was with my girlfriend at the time. We were walking down to the convention center, and I didn't say anything because I keep my girlfriend out of a lot of the shit. Like she's not involved in any of this stuff, and so I just didn't say anything. But all I wanted to do was just stop, go over, and put my hand down, and go, "Hey Zoe, great to meet you. I just want to say thanks for giving me a career." So I'm going back to PAX in a few weeks, and so if she shows up, I'm definitely gonna pull that one out of my ass this time. But
Yeah, the crazy amount of shit that I mean too, and then you had the shit kind of I'd say like the second month of Gamergate, I think it was with Mood going to South by Southwest,
yeah,
and then finding out his girlfriend was a Google employee. That's fucking interesting now that I think about it. Moot basically shut all that shit down, and he's dating a Google employee. And God, how fuck, I gotta look at that for that video now that I think about it, because that had a fucking effect on the way Gamergate played out.
it did. It really did because that's what moved it over the migration over to 8chan, and then of course 8chan selling off to the guy who created 2chan, who's now running 4chan.
Oh yeah, little Hiroshima Nagasaki. Yeah,
Yeah. I saw your video on that too, and the hypothesis you put together for everything I thought was very fascinating, and it's like holy shit,
yeah.
the
I took that.
chans are fucked.
I took that from their. I can't remember what board it is on HN, like their new board or something like that. There was this huge conspiracy theory about what was going on, and I fucking read that like back and forth, and I was like, God, that's fucking great. So I made a video on it, and I think it pissed off Hot Wheels pretty good. But then I mean, shit, look where we are a couple years later. We find out HN gets hacked, and they got hacked because they had some kind of a fucking software program that was storing IPs with post information.
Yeah.
So, fuck. Where can you post to be safe? I don't even know how good, Hiroshima Nagasaki is. But so far, he seemingly has been I'd say pretty fair. He's been pretty hands off. He hasn't really fucked with anything too much.
No, it still looks about the same to me. B still sucks. Pole is still crazy, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's that migration. You kind of migrate through boards. I mean, I started on B, and then I ended up on V, and then I moved over to Pole. The only consistent boards really outside of those are like K and Fit and shit. But yeah, it's been a good talk. It's kind of getting late, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
dip
I
on
should probably
here.
wrap this up too. I gotta head to bed here pretty soon. But you know what, Jim? Just seriously, thank you for coming on and BS with me for a while. It's a lot of fun, dude. You are one of my favorite creators. Even if you like to give me shit, I do love the work you put out.
Matt, I have a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Hey! I'm not trying to suck your dick. Okay.
Okay, just so we're clear.
I'm not like I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. I appreciate your work. Calm your ego. Okay.
I'm gonna go smell my own farts now and then get a job at fucking bullshit.com. You've fluffed me up too much now, Matt. That's what happens when you do that.
Well, there we go. But no. But seriously, dude, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. We'll have to definitely do this again sometime. I think it was a very fun, and I usually only stream for like an hour and a half, so we're pushing 2 hours and 40 minutes. So
yeah, it's been going for a while. All right, well, you take it easy, man.
you too, man. I'll talk to you later, and have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you very much to Mr. Metokur for coming on in. That was a good conversation. I think we covered lots of ground and everything. Also, yeah, it's fucking warm. I know I'm red. I will fully admit that I'm red right now. Everyone's like, "You're red," and God, it's hot as shit in here, man. So I do want to go and look at some of the super chats that we got. I got a whole bunch from Unknown Archive. So thank you very much, Unknown Archive. Drake Dean said gave 420 to help out with this trying times. Thank you very much. I need to go pull out my pot cookies and go on those. Unknown Archive did say here again, Mr. Metokur is my favorite Armored Skeptic clone. That was a good one. Abyss Walker says, hey, Jim and Matt, sick mundane Metokur stream. That's good, man. That's really good. Kernoth says, someone send Matt some Old Spice because he's sweating. It's fucking warm, dude. It's warm as shit. I'm turning my fucking fan on again. And Evan Cocker says Jim is a new Howard Stern. I would agree. I totally agree. I think he's a great talent. Sergeant Buck says, Matt, that's verbal rape, and I'm sure he's referring to when I talked about Zoe Quinn. So, but yeah, this is good, man. This is good. Sorry I didn't get to the videos for tomorrow, but those will be up tomorrow, probably around the mid to late afternoon, whenever I wake up and get around to recording them. So, and I already, got good shit. But then again, everything's happening so fast these days. Who fucking knows, what's going to be timely and everything else. But to everyone else, thank you very much, Woke Centrist, for the $2. Appreciate the super chat. But I'm going to go fuck off. I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours. I've got to take a piss. I will talk to you guys. I'll be back on tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And then also the patron-only live stream Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard. And then, real quick, if you guys are interested, let me pull it out here. The Discord, I will pop the Discord in here. If you guys want to come BS for a while, I'll probably be in the chat hanging out for a little bit while I get shit situated for tomorrow. And, alright. Peace out, guys.